I'm getting ready to do a corporate tarot reading event tonight, and they told me to dress comfortable. My ensemble is literally this nice shirt, a pair of blue jeans, and sneakers. Sometimes people want you to dress the part, so sometimes they want you to dress like a witch, sometimes they want you to dress like a mystique, and other times they're like, no, we just want you to come, so however you're comfortable. So I'm holding this labradorite up here because I'm kind of proud of it. This is a sterling silver chain, and the labradorite I wire raped myself. It's not perfect by any way, shape, or form, but it does the job, and I actually really like it. So why am I wearing a labradorite? First of all, mainly because I love it. But as far as crystals and crystal meanings go, labradorite is the mystic stone. It's a stone of intuition, of magic, of spirituality, and of healing. I picked this particular labradorite because on here you can see, labradorite has iridescent factors to it, which I'll show you on the stone. Maybe we can get it to, I don't know if we'll be able to get it to, there you can see it. See how that blue is kind of shining in there, that iridescent quality. And on this particular labradorite, I like the white that was up near the top of it. And it's got that greenish hue. So I love the colors associated with this. Now, for people who have been watching me for a while, like my main thing is tarot. So I can sit here and tell you a whole lot about tarot, which is another reason I'm making this video. We are on to having to do the meaning for the Ten of Cups, and then I have the court cards that I want to finish up. I've got a couple different things going on, so I didn't forget about those videos for the couple that have asked me about it. I'll be finishing up that series. I also put the series on YouTube under Tarot Perceptions. But anyway, tarot is my main thing. I do incorporate crystals. I do incorporate chakras. I do incorporate candles. I do incorporate rituals. I incorporate a lot of things, but I have a lot of stuff that is organized in notebooks. I have my own little book of shadows to say. I have cheat sheets that I made on my own research. So this is my crystal information that I have out of my shop. The reason I do that is I don't remember everything there is to know about every crystal there is. I don't remember every information there is to know about every herb there is. So I have notebook upon notebook upon notebook, binders on my laptop, information that I have researched so I can combine things together. And I like to share that information with others. When I first started doing this, there was this big misconception in my own mind that I had to know everything about everything. That's impossible for anybody, first of all, to know everything about anything. It was the own high standards that I was trying to hold myself up to. I love the tarot cards. I read the tarot cards every day for myself, regardless of if I make a video, regardless of if I put that on Facebook. I read tarot. I am a tarot reader. First and foremost, I make herbal products, and I do that because I've done it to try to find things that will help. For instance, the very first thing I ever made was the ADF and 6 salve. I researched what I could use to make something for my grandmother because of her joint pain. The anti-aging goddess oil, I researched the things to go in that because I am a middle-aged woman. I'm 52. I'm aging. I'm not vain, but I want to take care of myself. So everything that I do for myself, and I try to share that information with other people. If people do want to buy my products, that's great. I love it. I do sell products. I have quite a few customers who buy my products, but I don't try to force anybody. I have a full-time job, so I don't need to do this. I do this because I love to do this, and I believe in what I do. But I'm coming on here and saying all of that because I do think sometimes we get so wrapped up in thinking that we should know everything. No, I have my little cheat sheets. So yeah, I do try to share information. I try to be very concise. I can rattle off and tell you a whole bunch about different tarot cards, But the way I use crystals may not give everybody a textbook meaning. So when I share knowledge about how I use things, yeah, I get out. This is my research, and this is just one sheet. I have a lot. But this is my research that I have done. I have notebooks filled with my research. So do I remember all the research that I've done on every single stone that I have researched? Do I remember all the research I have done on every single herb? No, I don't. So just know when I do talk about stuff, and when I do rituals or something like that on here, yeah, that I know, because that's coming from me. That's coming from my own intuition and how I feel. When I pick crystals for a different thing, I will use based on color and how I'm drawn to it. For instance, my labradorite is one of those stones, the labradorite, because of the different colors. In the specific stone that I picked, it had the white, which I mentioned earlier. To me, white has to do with that spiritual awareness, with that healing type vibe. So I will use a lot more color correspondences to come up with how I associate them than what textbook meanings may be. I do the same thing with my herbs. To me, I don't know if a specific herb is associated with a different sign. The textbook way or the textbook correspondences, I do know what I have researched, and I can include that for other people for their own research. But that doesn't mean that that's how you have to use it. I hope that makes sense. Now, that doesn't mean that my interpretations are correct, but they have worked for me. They have worked for people that I have been working with. But you're going to see different people get on here and say and share different information. And that is because most of us will do the information that we have garnished through our own experiences. For me personally, that is how I work with them. Now, if I was more into crystal healing or chakra work or energy work, I may associate them a little bit different based on those experiences. Everything that I do is associated with knowing ourselves. Sometimes I actually feel like I'm an inspirational cheerleader, and I've never cheerleaded in my life, but it's because what I see in the cards when I'm reading the cards usually does tend to carry a different perception, a different perspective of what people are seeing. That's just kind of me. That's my experience, how I do them. So therefore, my herbs go along with, I will use tarot cards and incorporate them into spell work. But that being said, I am also going off different associations for herbs and for crystals based off of my own experience and my intention for those. Also with the herbs, because I do study different things for the products that I was talking about. For instance, holy basil is very good to help decrease blood sugar. Holy basil is an adaptogenic herb, okay? I know that because of the research that I have done, because it's something that my husband and I personally use in our life. So using that association, I will use holy basil in ritual work to say, this is a situation that needs to have a little bit of peace, a little bit of healing, a bringing back into balance, so to say. And so then holy basil will be a herb that I incorporate. I incorporate what I use with those herbs based on what I have used and learned in my own day-to-day practices. So that was a whole lot of rambling, but don't think that you need to know all there is to know about everything before you can get on here and, enjoy your life and try to share the information you do know. Have a good day.